Hey there, members of the Graveyard, and welcome back to another Monster Hunter Wilds Beginner Weapon Guide video where we will be going over the dual blades. Now, there are 3 days left until Monster Hunter Wilds come out, and I am gonna get wait. We're almost there. If you can do it, I can do it. So I'm gonna rely on you to give me strength to make it, to give me the patience to sleep and be well rested for the launch. Now, there's a bunch of boring information about this video down in the description. Long story short, this is the beta, not the final version, and we'll be going over changes that happen to this weapon and all of the weapons at a later date in a later video. So with that being said, let's get into it. Now, I think, that excitement gets me out of breath. Gotta remember to breathe. So, I think the most important thing about learning a weapon in Monster Hunter Wilds is that we need to understand first all of our kind of buzzwords. So I can kind of just go through this video and say things, and I'll have given you a reference point. If I start saying all of these things like demon mode, archdemon, you're not going to know what any of that means. So let's just go ahead and get a better understanding of the things that we will be covering. So we'll be covering demon mode. Now my camera blocks it, but I'll read it for you. So our demon mode, going into it, boosts our attack, our movement speed, and evasion, and it makes us immune to tiny little knockbacks. Our stamina depletes, our stamina depletes while we are in this mode. So this weapon bounces back and forth between being in demon mode and not being in demon mode. Now, while we are in demon mode, our demon gauge fills as we land attacks. Now, filling this demon mode puts us into arc demon mode, which lets us gain access to empowered attacks and abilities while we are not in demon mode, and this is very good. It gives us access to strong abilities without constantly needing to drain our stamina. Now, when we are not in demon mode, we will drain the meter at the top left with normal attacks, and we will show all of this in a bit, but this is just so that everyone understands when I say these words and what they mean and why these things are important. Finally, we have demon boost mode. We essentially get when we are in our archdemon mode or our demon mode, if we perfectly time our dodges, we enter a amplified state that turns all of our dodges into attacks. We then have a follow-up attack after that dodge attack. So now that we know what all of these things mean, let's get into explaining them a little bit better. First, we're going to cover not being in demon mode. We're going to cover just having our weapons out. We are just going to go over what we can do when our weapons are out and we're not doing anything special. So we have a standard YYY combo. And the goal is to never use this or see this, really. It has very little application. It's a good way to do damage when you're kind of stuck in an awkward position. We also have this lunging strike, which we also kind of don't ever want to see. We basically never want to see these normal attacks per se. If we're seeing these attacks or stuck using these attacks, we've gone somewhere wrong in the Dual Swords game plan. Now, the game plan, and that's it really. We have this lunging strike, which is BB, and we have YYY, and that is it. Pretty bare bones and simple, and that is because the main thing about this weapon is generating demon gauge. Now, we need to hit right trigger to go into demon mode, and when we land our attacks in demon mode, as you can see, we build up meter. Now, we spend this meter on hitting Y and B at the same time. We can hit it again, and one last time. See, it's Blade Dance 1 through 3. Now, this spent our demon gauge meter. But there's something else going on with this demon gauge meter that we need to talk about. Now, when we fill this demon gauge meter, note, we have a BBB combo and we have a YYY combo. They both do similar damage and they both generate a similar amount of gauge. If you've looked at the description of the video, you know that this is not a meta discussion. We're not trying to figure out what things we always do and what things we never do. We're covering all of our options, and we're figuring that out later because we're just beginners right now. So now that we filled our gauge, you'll note that the bar went from a soft yellowish orange to now a more vibrant yellow orange, and it is pulsating. Our arms are also glowing white, and our stamina is not going down. We are in archdemon mode now. This gives us the ability to have access to certain things, so I'll go into demon mode to show you. We can do this demon flurry rush when we are in demon mode. When we are in archdemon mode, we also now can do this demon flurry rush instead of that lunging attack. Note, we do still have access to the same YYY combo, which is, again, you'd think it'd be your quick damage source. Let's generate some more meter here. A good thing to note, if you never fully run out of archdemon bar, or if you never run out of demon gauge, I should say, once you have activated archdemon mode, you will never have to completely refill your meter again. As long as you keep it from fully depleting, it will stay active for the rest of the hunt, and that is your objective. That is the fun little mini game that the dual blades gets to worry about for the entire hunt. Balancing between using your stamina correctly and generating your meter back so you don't completely run out, so then you lose your archdemon mode and then have to completely fill the bar again. It can be a pain, and it can be very hard to pay attention to while you are new to this game. So do not be discouraged if you are struggling just a little bit. Now, when we are in demon mode or archdemon mode, we have better rolls. As you can see, even when we are not in demon mode, in archdemon mode, we all have access to these faster dodges. I will run out just to showcase. See, we have this in comparison. Now, this roll it's fairly good, but it's nowhere near in levels of the enhanced dash that we have. Now, we can have access to it whenever we want when we're in demon mode. But again, we will chew through stamina fairly quickly because not only are we using stamina to dodge, we are losing stamina due to the constant drain of it by being in demon mode. So, again, to refresh, if we run out of demon gauge, we have to fill it back up, either using YYY or BBB. And once it is orange, we want to basically use... See how we have, also to note, when we dodge in archdemon mode and not demon mode, glowing white arms, blades held forward, we spend our archdemon gauge. Or demon gauge, either one. I call it the archdemon gauge once it finally fills up. So, keep in mind that while you do have access to this better, faster dodge, we have to make sure we are managing our archdemon gauge. So there is something else that we gain access to once we have this archdemon mode enabled, and that is we have access to demon flurry. Now, demon flurry is Y plus B, and we can do 2 of them back to back. Now, here's where things start to get interesting. When we are in archdemon mode and we have done 2 demon flurries, we can hit right trigger to do blade dance 3. Remember how when we were in demon mode, let's go to it, we had blade dance 1, blade dance 2, and blade dance 3. We have access to that. Oh, we ran out of meter. See, it's going to happen to you. We have access to finishing the blade dances with a blade dance. Or I'm sorry, the demon flurries we finish with a blade dance by hitting right trigger. Now, this will automatically put you into demon mode as well. But this goes one step further. You can choose at any point to keep hitting right trigger to extend your combo up to 4 hits at a time. Now, any demon flurry you can hold forward and hit YB and you do this little lunge. to make sure we don't run out of our Archdemon mode. So there is ways to kind of correct your orientation while it's happening. So let's say we are in Archdemon mode, the monster is a little bit away, we can lunge forward and then continue our combo. You can also go pretty much any direction you want as long as it's a demon flurry. Now, I don't believe our blade dances, they do not, they have a little bit of accuracy. They have a little bit of a pivot that you can do, but they don't, the move doesn't look different holding a direction. So that about covers the intricacies of the Archdemon mode and the Demon mode. Now we need to go over one last thing. We're going to turn on our Deer Wagon Chan. We are going to set her to Smash mode. We're going to apply the changes. We need to talk about our perfect dodge. So we can dodge normally, right? But if we dodge into an attack, we are now glowing this purple color, and our dodge is now an attack. And this is only if I had Archdemon mode active in this normal mode. Let's actually just go and showcase that. Gotta manage your gauges. See how much of a pain it is to have to restore this instead of just constantly being able to swap back and forth. So get used to not running out of your Archdemon gauge once you have activated it. Otherwise, your hunts will be quite painful. So when we are in Archdemon mode, we still have access to this crazy dodge. Very good. It also has a follow-up attack that you can do with Y. And you can angle it any direction you want. As you can see, we just kind of did like a 180 there. So we'll move on to the next part here. Focus mode is incredible with these weapons. Some of the melee weapons, they kind of play this like toggle on, toggle off play style because they lose access to some of their better evasive movements quickly when they're stuck in focus mode. But because our dash is so good, and we want to have complete agency over our character at all times with the dual blades, staying in focus mode is actually quite good, especially because we have access to being able to dodge the specific direction we want to. If we free ball it, it can take, when I say free ball it, I just mean no use of the focus mode. We can still have like omnidirectional dodging, but if you mess up and dodge the wrong way on accident because of some weird camera stuff, it can bite you pretty hard. Focus mode ensures that we always get the direction we want no matter what. So I highly recommend using the toggle option for the focus mode right here above the advanced aim focus mode controls option. Now you can also set which weapons you want to have toggle, not toggle. I wish it was weapon specific, but that's just a little extra tidbit there for my recommendations, because believe me, holding down left trigger for a 10 to 15 minute hunt whenever you need it can get a little annoying. I'd much rather just turn it off when I know I don't need it. Now, we've gone over our combos outside of Archdemon mode. When we are just kind of normal, we know how to build gauge, how to enter Archdemon mode. We know how to use our blade dance and then extend the blade dance with the demon gauge. I'll showcase that one more time, because that is probably the trickiest thing about this weapon to remember, in my opinion. So again, if you want the longest combo that you can possibly do, and you can stop at any point during these combos, so you can even kind of begin to dedicate it to it, hit right trigger, and then you can just peace out and not even care. But again, we start with YB, and then for the rest of it, you just hit right trigger. And that will be the longest combo that you can possibly do with it. You can also gain access to the combo the long combo. Thank you, Wagon Chan, for making me bounce. You can also gain access to it. We start with YB, hit triggers. Now remember, on any of the blade dances, you can hold left, you can hold right, and you can hold forward to kind of realign yourself with the monster to make sure that you stay on top of them during that combo if they happen to get repositioned while you are going crazy on the monster. And we love going crazy on some monsters, believe me. Now we're just going to talk about ledges just real quickly. These ledges will never get you killed, by the way. See how when like you run into them, you're forced to do this climbing animation? Even when you dodge into them, you have to do this little climbing animation. You're not invincible during that climbing animation. So yes, ledges will probably get you killed once or twice or 500 times while you play this game. But if we are in our demon mode or archdemon mode, our special dash will send us flying off the cliff, and we will kind of do, let me get higher up here. We will do a kind of special attack that you can, after you initiate it, you can hit Y to do the spinning blade dance finisher. So you fly off, hit Y in the air, and that is a way to keep the pressure up if the monster's beneath you. Now, if you just walk off, you will just fall. So make sure you dodge into it. And if you are not in demon mode and you roll off, again, this is just normal mode, you will just have access to hitting the Y button for a jumping slash attack, very basic. And you can also activate your demon mode in the air hitting right trigger, which depending on your situation could be good. And now there's one last thing, and it's kind of finicky to test in here, but if you hit circle, or sorry, if you hit B, PlayStation controls, if you hit B or circle, while going down a hill, you'll enter a sliding slash, and then you can hit Y and then Y again to also do that same ledge jump off attack. Now, that is going to do it for our full weapon breakdown. The weapon is covered for all the controls. We will just very quickly, because it is quite simple, go over its wound popping ability. I don't consider this to be like a part of the weapon. Every weapon can do this. We hit right bumper when we are in focus mode. And for the dual blades, we automatically, this is all a cutscene. You don't do anything. So if you see a monster wound, which you can only see in focus mode, just pop it. Don't think twice about it. It's just free extra damage. You are practically invincible. I've never taken damage while doing it, so I'm pretty sure you're invincible. So yeah, there's something else. I'm just trying to think if there's anything else. Oh, we can wall run. If you see a wall and you're in demon mode, you can just run straight up to it and jump off and initiate your aerial attack. So, something cool that I kind of did it accidentally over here, and I was like, what the heck was that? And then I just theorized that having your blades out while running into a wall that is wall runnable. Wow. Learn something new every day. Cool. Well, that will be the end of the weapon breakdown. So for those of you who just wanted a better, simple explanation of all the things that the weapon can do, I thank you for your time, and hope you leave a comment about how excited you are about Monster Hunter, and maybe even leave a like if you learned something. But for those who want to get down in the trenches and hunt this nasty bear, that's what we're going to do. The Alpha Doshaguma, my resident punching bag for this beta. I think he is a great monster to test weapons on, to showcase them. He's not too crazy that I have to be completely laser focused, but I'll probably be laser focused anyway because I want to do a good job showcasing the weapon and what it does. But also, I feel like that he has good telegraphs. He's not too overwhelming, so I feel like even a beginner will at first find this monster challenging, but within 5 to 6 to 7 hunts, they'll easily turn him into a punching bag, just as I have. So, good hunting practice. We always want to make sure we restock our items before hunts. getting into good habits. We also want to post our quest and not run off into the wild and aimlessly wander around. And then we want to make sure we eat. Now, food buffs in this game have changed a little bit from previous iterations. They now last through death, and they last 50 minutes. But just to showcase good practice, I'm going to eat real quick. As a good hunter should, we should always make sure we eat. We have 17 minutes left, so this hunt could go on for 30 minutes. Hopefully it doesn't, but if it does, we want to make sure we have a food buff the entire time. Now, I know that in a lot of the trailers and some of the showcases that you may or may not have watched, people use they were like, ooh, large dung pod bomb, but I am not a fan of it. After hunting this thing for a very long time, I don't like chasing it, so I will just be small dung potting the little ones. Had a weird lock-on issue there. Couldn't target the ones that I wanted. I'm going to put on a ghillie mantle, which lets us enter stealth, which lets us sneak attack. And now, kind of off to the races with this guy. Going to leave, let our stamina come back. Gonna keep up with him. He wants to be focused on our cat. Again, we're getting stamina back. We activated our... See, that perfect dodge puts us in this special state. Ooh, we got hit by the merry-go-round attack, as I like to call it. Cat's gonna heal us up here. Taking off our ghillie mantle. Hitting our wound attack. See, when he stood up there, there's this red glowing spot on his stomach, and that indicates we can do a wound attack. Gonna dodge that. Dodge that. Let our stamina come back here. He seems to be obsessed with our cat. He's going to do a merry-go-round attack. I'm going to go for 2 blade dashes here. Finish the combo. That was kind of a coin flip situation. But we develop an instinct for fighting this guy. Try to get some cheeky damage there as he runs away. One of the boys came back. Hello, boy. Sorry, I've got things to do. Make sure our weapon stays topped up. Now, with the changes to how sharpening works, I'm having to correct some of my muscle memory from older games, so we can get away with sharpens pretty efficiently here. I don't know if he notices me or not. I can't tell what's going on. The sneak attack indicator did not pop up. Gotta remember there's a delay on that one. Okay, he's mad. And again, I could hunt without the palico, but I think as a beginner, it's good to hunt with palicos. As you can see, vine traps are quite good. We're gonna go for our full combo here. We ran out of meter. Good to, again, make sure you are managing your arc demon meter. Otherwise, I could have gotten a much bigger punish. Make sure our stamina isn't running out. Ooh, a little too early on that dodge. I'm going to drink a potion. We're getting a little low. Demon mode. Ooh, a little bit too early on that dodge. Hopefully it won't cost us. It's a good opening. See how we kept kind of circling the monster with our directional demon flurries? Demon flurries and blade dances. Don't get them confused. 'Cause I know I certainly still do. Let's drink a little potion here to recover our chip damage. Now we're gonna drop a boulder on his head here. Hopefully he chills out long enough for us to drop it. Take this opportunity to build up a lot of meter. We will use the wound pop before he gets up. Actually could have waited a little bit longer. Actually, now that I think about it, let us try to get a mount attack here. I'm gonna jump on my secret one more time just to showcase mounting a little bit. If these raptors, I guess, have joined the battle, our secret has taken off. Is nowhere to be found. We're gonna do this, then pop the wound. Things don't always go as planned. We're going to quickly close the gap here. Now, I could have ran around to the head, but we would have wasted that on some good damage time. It's not always super important to make sure you run around and hit the weakness or the weak spot of the monster. Sometimes, if you can only hit the legs, even if the weak spot is... Oh no, shouldn't have committed to that. We had no idea what the monster was doing. I thought I was in archdemon mode. Or not, I was out of my demon mode. Okay. Take this opportunity to do our long combo. Sharpness is looking a little low. Let's see if we can get away with some swipes here. Perfect. Back into the monster. Blade Dance 1. Blade Dance 2 to close the gap. He just bit me. Cat's putting a shock trap down, which will allow us to do another big opening. Oh, we ran out of demon gauge. Weren't paying attention to our gauge. It happens. Okay, seems a little tired. Do the full combo. I'll take that trade. You know, sometimes we have to take trades. Sometimes you just go for it, even though it might not be the best idea. Want that wound, but he seems to be wanting to change areas. I'm gonna sharpen up here. Take this opportunity to do... Oh my. Yeah, that's not when you want to do that. And then the second he comes out, we will go ahead and pop more wounds. He's a little angry. We'll pop another wound. And this is the wounds. When the monster's covered in wounds as a dual blade player, you kind of get to go just a little crazy. We love it. Could have probably gone for a bigger opening there. Not too crazily familiar with the monster. Woo! That was a bad dodge. We dodged too early. Let's go ahead and take this moment to reuse our Gilly Mantle so we can get another free sneak attack. Whoa. Something like staggered him and reset his attack animation? Oh. Take a tiny opening. Turn ourselves with focus mode so we can keep kind of hitting him. We got 2 extra damage as he was leaving. That's not bad. Sharpen up. Now, most of the time in your hunts, you'll just capture the monster, but I like to kill the monster in these videos just to show a longer showcase of the weapon. Just in case you get any ideas. And now we've let the monster begin to go to sleep, so we can kind of just wail on it for free. Dang, we almost got that dodge. Unfortunate. Let's see what he does here. Gonna do big claw attack after that. Yep. Now be careful about pressing your trigger button too quickly. Sometimes I end up mashing mine for a double tap and it cancels it. Oh, he had that merry-go-round attack. Oh, God. I'm so sorry. Forgive me for my transgressions. I'm gonna use a shock trap here. Just because... Nice. That was actually fully intended. Because I just wanted to get a moment to build my meter back here. Again, losing track of our meter. We've done it quite a lot in this hunt. Dodging that. Blade dance for the opening, but don't commit to it. Ooh. Again, that dodge a little too early for that bite attack. Managing the gauge. I don't even know what we dodged there. Dodging. Closing the distance. Can't get to the head, unfortunately. Whoa. Timings change on his attacks. Take a moment to sharpen while he's doing that. Dodges. Keep the pressure up. Just go crazy. Keep the pressure up on these guys. Nice. That's the hunt. Well, I hope you all enjoyed this demonstration of the weapon, and hopefully watching me play gives you an idea of how the weapon should handle, or maybe it gave you enough information to come up with your own way to play the weapon. I was a little locked in during that hunt, so I apologize for not as much commentary as I'm used to saying. There's usually more for me to comment on, but I was having a little bit of a hard time keeping track of that demon mode meter and losing track of it. But again, I wanted to showcase a genuine hunt. I want to showcase what it looks like when you're not a professional, or you're not someone who's played 1,000 hunts. I want a realistic experience for someone who is new. And as all of these weapons have a lot of new changes, I too am also new at these, even though I've been playing the game for a while. So there's a lot to keep track of with all of the new things to the weapons. And if you're a beginner and you've never played, this will be a little bit of a journey for learning, or a short one. You could be really good at learning. I don't know. But if you enjoyed the video, learned something, had fun hanging out, drop a like, drop a comment. I'm excited for Monster Hunter Worlds to come out. I can't wait. I've made so many good friends. I've had great memories with the game. It's been a part of my, it feels like this has been a part of my life. I've played it since I was, a very, very small human being. But I think that's going to cover everything. I hope we all just take our time to enjoy these games. It's not every year that they come out. This isn't a Call of Duty, We only get these every 5 to 6, 7, 8 years. So take your time, enjoy it, have fun with it. That's all for now. I hope you had a great day. Catch you on the next one.